My dear friends, I am Dr. Colonel Brahmajit Singh from Hyderabad. I am a medical oncologist, that is, I am a cancer doctor and I treat all types of cancers with chemotherapy and the latest treatment modalities such as targeted therapy and immunotherapy. Do you want to prevent and protect yourself from cancer? Do you want to know what causes cancer? What are the risk factors, the warning symptoms, and how you can prevent and protect yourself and your family from cancer? And if you are a cancer patient, would you like to know what, when, why, and how of cancer treatment? If you are interested, press the bell icon, subscribe, and stay connected. What is cancer and how does it develop? Why is it dangerous? I am asked this question so many times that I have been actually forced by my patients to make this video for you. I'm going to tell you what cancer is in exactly the same manner as I explain it to my patients. In very simple words, two definitions, the medical science definition and the other, the practical definition, that is my definition of cancer. You won't find that in any textbook. And I'm going to explain both of these to you in the simplest possible manner. This is very important for everyone to know and understand. By everyone, I mean those who are cancer patients and those who are not cancer patients. This is because once you understand what is cancer, you will understand why it occurs, what causes it, and how we can prevent and protect ourselves from this, and also how we treat cancer. Firstly, as per the medical science definition, the most simple definition of cancer is uncontrolled multiplication of abnormal cells in our body. In this definition, there are three keywords: uncontrolled, multiplication, and abnormal cells. In order to make you understand, I will start in the reverse order and from scratch. What is a cell? Well, those with knowledge of biology would definitely know. But this video is for all of my friends. We will start from the very basics. So all you need is a bit of imagination. As a building is made up of bricks, we as humans are also made up of very small bricks that we call a cell. Imagine, as you can see the bricks in a building, and you can now see the bricks of your own human body are cells. The only similarity between bricks and the cells is structural. That is, cells, like bricks, are the building blocks of a body. And the most important difference is that unlike the bricks, which are non-living, our cells are very much alive and kicking, and different type of cells in different parts of a body perform different functions. So now you understand that we are made up of cells. Each and every organ of a body is made up of cells. Now imagine that each cell is like a person. Every cell in your body is your friend. He or she is a person who, like your friend, is working to keep you safe, healthy, and happy by contributing to keep you alive, directly or indirectly. Now, as a cell is a living thing, like a person, it also requires water, food in the form of glucose and oxygen to survive, which it gets from our blood, that is the arteries which carry these to each cell of our body. Our body is full of numerous types of cells which work in small groups and form tissues to perform specialized function. For example, the muscle cells join together to form muscles. The neurons join together to form the brain. The bone cells join together to form bones. The lung cells form lungs. Kidney cells form kidneys, and so on and so on. Now, each cell, like a human, has a specialized parts which do its specific destined function as they are told. For example, as we have a brain that tells us what to do, similarly the cells have a nucleus. This nucleus is the brain of the cell and has the DNA, the genetic code, all genetic information which determines every action of the cell, such as the work the cell will perform. Can it divide? If it is supposed to divide, how many times it will divide? the whole control of the cell's life is by this genetic information that is present in its DNA in the nucleus. A normal cell has a normal DNA, like a normal person. You need to have a normal brain. Now, as per the definition, cancer is formed from abnormal cells. You must be thinking, what are these abnormal cells? Cells with an abnormality in their DNA are the abnormal cells, as these are the cells that become cancerous. That is, they are the ones that become cancer. Now, why and how normal cells become cancerous? That's a very long story, and there are lots and lots and lots of factors which I will be explaining subsequently. But for now, what you need to understand is that we are made up of cells, each one of which is living, and they are regulated by a DNA, and abnormal cells are the ones that have an abnormality in the DNA. Now, let's come to the third keyword, uncontrolled multiplication. To understand this, you have to know how normal cells multiply. Nature has made a body in such a way that all the cells in the body do not have the potential to multiply. And if they are destined to multiply, then even the number of times a cell will multiply is also predestined by virtue of the genetic information encoded in the cell's DNA. So there is a check and a counter check. And that's how the body ensures that there are no mistakes made. Now, cells, unlike humans, are not male and female, and they do not need another cell for mating. In order to multiply, their process is very simple. A cell, if it is destined to multiply, it undergoes a series of changes within itself. During this process, it duplicates firstly its genetic material and all the vital structures present within it required for the cell's survival. Now, these important structures then travel to the two different ends of a cell, which then splits from the center, and voila, two cells identical to each other are formed. Then these two cells each can give rise to two cells each. That is, one cell multiplies to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 16, and 16 to not 32, my dear friend, 64, and so on. Now, if you read the definition of cancer, it says uncontrolled multiplication. That is, this multiplication process, which is supposed to be limited to a specific number of times, is now no longer under control and becomes infinite. Therefore, these abnormal cells continue to multiply so much that they form a lump, a kind of a colony, which when it becomes visible to us, we call it a tumor. 1 lakh cells, 1 centimeter tumor. And then these cancer cells spread to different parts of the body in the form of micrometastasis and metastasis, which I explained to you in my previous videos. I hope you have understood what cancer is, the scientific definition. Now, for the second part, why is it dangerous? The reason why we are afraid of cancer is because its sole purpose is to kill the person in which it grows. And how does it do it? These cancer cells cause two types of damages. One in the location where they grow, and the other the effect have on the whole body. Locally, as these cancer cells grow, they start competing with the normal cells for space, glucose and oxygen. And cancer cells being more aggressive, they gradually choke the neighboring normal cells, and then they finally eat these cells of the organ, like making holes, causing structural and functional damage of that organ. Then as they spread, they start secreting a large number of chemicals, poisons and toxins, which also circulate along with them in the blood, purpose of which is there to further damage the human body, because so many ill effects, and also help these circulating cancer cells to stick and then multiply in other organs of the body. Gradually, they spread to different parts of the body, killing and destroying the normal cells of the body, such as in the brain, kidneys, bones, lungs, and so on. Because of all these, the patient of cancer suffers a lot, and finally, stage 4 succumbs to cancer. What I just described to you was the scientific medical definition of cancer. Now, I'll explain to you the practical definition. What is my definition? In just one line, I define every cancer cell in a body as a bloody terrorist. Surprised or confused? Why this corollary? Well, that's what it is. Now, to make it easier for you to correlate, what is a terrorist? As per Wikipedia, a terrorist is an individual who terrorizes people by practicing in acts of terrorism. So now, what is terrorism? Terrorism in its broadest sense is the use of intentional violence and fear to achieve political or ideological aims. So firstly, the ideology of cancer and a terrorist is the same. That is, to be merciless and cause pain, agony, destruction, and finally kill the person for own selfish motives. Don't think there would be any doubt in your mind about the ideology of both. Secondly, who is actually a terrorist? If you analyze, most of the times he or she is a local person belonging to the same community in which he or she was born and brought up. A cancer cell, my dear friend, before it became cancerous, was also a normal cell within the same tissue which it finally destroyed. Now, what does a terrorist do? Its sole purpose is to cause damage to the community, the city, the nation in which he or she lives, resulting in death of innocent people. That's exactly what a cancer cell does. Cancer results in death and destruction of other normal cells, organs, and finally kills the very human in which it grows. Like a terrorist, the mentality and the activities of a terrorist and a cancer cell are very similar. In fact, you will be surprised to know that cancer cells, like terrorists, use camouflage to prevent themselves from getting identified by the army of the body. And also, as terrorists hide deep inside caves, forests, and other inaccessible places, similarly, cancer cells hide deep inside other tissues to prevent themselves from getting detected by the immune cells of the body. Terrorists use various types of bombs, from TNT and chemical to biological warfare, and are ruthless with no humanity. Similarly, cancer cells, by secreting toxic chemicals causing mass effect, and by destroying normal cells, are ruthless with no sense of remorse unless they succeed in killing the patient. In fact, how does a normal person become a terrorist? There is something wrong in their thought process. And where does this thought process originate? Brain, my dear friend. Similarly, in a normal cell, when there is an abnormality in the DNA, where is the DNA? In the nucleus. What is the nucleus? The brain of the cell. It turns cancerous. If one goes deeper into this similarity, one will understand that even the factors causing cancer and the factors that make a normal person a terrorist are also similar. No person is born a terrorist. He becomes one either due to his own thought process or by getting manipulated by someone with political goals. Similarly, normal cells don't become cancerous unless they have a mutation in their DNA which occurs either spontaneously or due to the effect of certain carcinogens. Carcinogens, my dear friend, are substances that play a role in converting normal cells into cancer, such as tobacco. You can now correlate the ideology, actions, genesis, that is, right from birth of a cancer cell to its finally destroying the human body. The cancer cell is a terrorist. Therefore, the treatment of cancer and the way terrorism is dealt with is also similar. When we have to make the country terrorism free, we have to hunt down each and every terrorist and kill them. Similarly, when we have to make a patient cancer free, we use localized and systemic therapy to eliminate all the cancer cells that exist in the body. If a single cancer cell survives, it will come back, and so is with terrorists. So my dear friend, I hope you have understood everything about cancer in plain, simple words. We have to eliminate this terrorist. Please remember, I am there with you and we will eliminate terrorism and cancer.